Hello, and welcome to Cosmere Conundrum. I'm your host, Nemo,
And I'm Roman.
and today we are going to talk about chapters 31 and 32 of Mistborn, The Final Empire.
Or as I like to call them, everything is falling apart.
Yeah,
Again.
they will keep falling apart continuously.
Yeah, I have no... as I've said multiple times, I don't know where this story is going.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, given there are only 6 chapters left, yeah, it's still
Six
in the
is
dark.
left, but there's also 2 more books.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
I knew they were going to
usually-
resolve everything in one book, but...
yeah. I mean, usually every book itself is a self-contained story, and then you get a continuous
Mhm.
narrative over the next books.
I mean, my worry is I really hope this doesn't start following the 3-act structure in full this entire book series, because that means the ending of book 2 is going to be depressing as all hell.
I mean, let's first get to the ending of first book, and then we'll talk about the ending of the second one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Anyway, chapter 31. It begins with Kelsier and the others sort of joking around with each other, particularly taking digs at Breeze. When
Yes, I wasn't expecting what is in effect a shit joke,
yes,
but
pretty much.
sure.
Yeah,
I've been in pubs late at night.
Mm-hmm.
I know what kind of weird conversations there are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very late at night. They're probably drunk anyway. This is when
Probably.
certainly. This is when Vin bursts in, drenched in blood from bottom to top, and
Yes, and causes Spook to nearly faint.
well, yes, she's
because teenage boy, girl in underwear. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technically, as we see, when Doxson asks her what happens to your clothes, and she says, "This is fine."
Yes, but I will point out that I don't think Vin has ever grown up with women since her mother died.
Yes, true. Then obviously, Caesar gets to work on examining her.
Well, to be fair, she did do one thing,
Mhm.
because once she killed Shan, she did grab her dress.
Yes, that is important, because last time
she did the smart thing.
Yeah, last time you mentioned that people might recognize it being her from her dress, but then
Yeah, via the dress.
yeah, then we see that
by
she
the
has picked her
time.
up. Mhm.
Yeah. So luckily, Vin isn't that well known at court. I do suspect Straff knows it, but you know.
I mean, Straff is in denial, as we see later on.
I'm not. We'll see.
Yeah, Breeze asks her what happened, and she says that she killed San Ilariel, basically. And Kelsier is surprised that she killed a full-trained Spawn.
Kel has to just reboot his brain temporarily.
Yeah, pretty much. Obviously, then.
But yeah, Vin has literally no clue of what's wrong with her clothes. Like none of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is why Kelsier asks him to grab some clothes for her.
Yeah.
Then Kelsier asks where she fought Shan, and this is when she says that she fought outside Keep Venture, and that some guards might have
at which
spotted
point
her.
Yeah, and at which point the conversation starts going, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And I remember how I said I was expecting some form of confrontation. Voila.
Yeah, I mean, that made sense, given they were literally on the opposite sides of the one thing that they disagree about, that being killing all the nobles. Kelsier asks why she fought a Mistborn, and she should have run, which is when Vin says that she couldn't get away in time and that Shan had ATM. And then when Kelsier asks if Shan attacked her, and Vin says no, she attacked first, trying to protect her.
Thing is, the way Kel phrased it is angry, but it's explicitly not an angry question.
No.
If it was an angry response from Kelsier, it would have said Kelsier asked angrily.
Yeah.
or with anger rising in his voice, or something to that effect. He's not. It's more a like that's what is wrong with you, girl. Is more a disappointed thing.
Yeah, he's basically exasperated, as I think it says.
And concern. There's a hell of a lot of concern in that.
Yeah.
And then
then Vin sort of explodes at him.
Yeah. And I love the call out here.
Yeah.
Because it's true. What she is saying is completely true.
Yeah.
And these idiots needed to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, even later on, Kelsier says that what Ben said was completely true, that they are not Ska. They might be Ska in the blood, but they live like nobility. They do not understand the woes of the Ska. And then she goes on to basically narrate her entire life.
The tirade she goes on is literally what she went through.
Yeah, basically.
And yeah, none of them here have any comprehension of any of this. And one thing in particular, they have no comprehension of.
Yeah. Basically. And
then she just outright says, "You're just noblemen without titles."
Yeah.
And I would like to point out, I am pretty sure that is very close to the accusation that used to be thrown at the middle class.
Yeah.
How they acted like they were worth more than they were. That is literally how the middle class was acted towards the nobility in the 19th century and earlier.
Yeah, I mean, there were obviously three different classes. You had the landed gentry, and then you had the sort of middle class, the traders and all who earn their money from trade.
Yes.
And then you get the peasants.
Yeah, I mean, you even get it in the late 19th century, where a very large amount of American women married into the British aristocracy.
Yeah.
The American rich people in America were not nobility, but they sure interacted with the nobility. And the only real reason they didn't break through in the other courts in Europe was because they tended to be a bit more stuffy about, no, only nobles can marry nobles.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the British were more like, it brings money in.
yeah, pretty much. Then Vin storms out and goes to the roof where she
goes to the roof.
Yeah, where she said some things about how she shouldn't have exploded, and that is where Rin's voice sort of comes back and tells her that she should be angry at herself and that everyone is going to leave her again, which he's been annoying throughout the book.
Well, the thing is, but this is the first time she's fully giving into emotion properly. It's like she doesn't really believe this. Hell, she's a fool and she doesn't understand what Ellen did. Because she's not had time to comprehend.
Yeah, and Kelsier noticed that, obviously. That's also why he comes to check on her and gives her like a blanket to wrap because it's cold and she's shivering. And then asks what really happened, which tells you that he definitely noticed that there was something more to the outburst than just the disagreement on killing nobility. And this is when obviously. And
what I love is that it's very clear. Kelsier has fully realized this is more than a crush.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he immediately begins comparing it to Mare and his love. At which point, we also get the thing I sent you a picture about immediately after I read it, because Vin is the narrator of this part.
Yeah.
And we get to the point where Kelsier puts an arm around Vin. Vin's the narrator of this part, and she calls it fatherly. And I went crazy, because that was a moment I've been waiting for quite a few chapters now. It's Vin acknowledging this relationship, and she still isn't outright saying it, but boy oh boy, is this about as close as we're gonna get with Vin.
Yeah.
And then she finally gets to speak openly about Reem and how much of a dick he is.
Yeah, I mean, she does mention that despite all he did, she still loved him. But again, he did.
I will point out,
torture her basically.
She's basically admitted that she still loves Ellen, but she loved Reem. There's a very definitive past tense in that.
Yeah, because she has grown to know what actually trust means. So, which means that she is letting go of the bonds that she held on to.
Yes.
When she didn't know what trust was.
She's now learned what trust is, but she has a fascinating way of describing it.
Yes, we will see that later on. Then she talks about her mother and how she left her as well, and says that Kelsier might leave her too. And when is he going to leave her, basically? And Kelsier doesn't answer. Kelsier does not answer.
No, to be fair, Kel really doesn't know how to answer this question.
That is fair, yeah.
We've discussed it before. We kind of already know the answer. If this plan doesn't work and they have to split up, Finn's staying with Kel. Kel's not going to abandon, but he is struggling to phrase it.
Fair, yeah, that makes sense. But again, Vin.
There's no way Docs would forgive Kel if they abandoned Vin.
Yes, but Vin also notices that Kelsier is hiding something, and wonders what's.
Yes, which we'll get to, because I think I know exactly what he's hiding, and it's a foolish plan.
I mean, we'll talk about it. Kelsier then changes the subject and talks about how she got blood all over him, and Vin mentions at least it's the blood of a noble.
Yeah, which a bit of humor in a very emotionally tense section is very important.
Yeah,
and laughter is the best medicine, so...
Yeah, it sort of alleviates the tension in the room, basically. And then Kelsier admits that he doesn't give nobility much chance, and Vin tries to apologize for her outburst, which is when Kelsier says that she was right, because he isn't really Scar, and he's doing this because the Scar just lack an opportunity. They don't lack courage, but they lack an opportunity to do this, and that's why he's giving them an opportunity, basically. Yeah. And
yeah, we get to this moment of
yeah.
It was at this moment I clocked House Venture is done for.
Yeah. When outright tells him about House Venture's source of wealth, and that is ATM mining. And Vin does say not to do anything, I love unless he has to, which he doesn't for a day and a half.
He doesn't. He actually it's long. It's been longer. Fair. The next chapter is a little bit further in the distance because the house must be going on for a bit.
Yeah, fair.
By that point,
yeah, but
Hastings is collapsing. Not that night because it's been the entire week that they've been attacked, and that didn't take place in the first few days, I imagine.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks maybe at maximum. He doesn't do anything, which is interesting. That he follows Vin's. Well, he tries to do what Vin asked him to do, basically. And Vin sees Kelsier bothered and figures out that he's thinking about Mare and tells him that she didn't betray him. This is when...
Yeah, at which point we get to pretty much what I'd already clocked.
Yeah.
We've discussed the power ranking of this world and where they land. And we came up with a hilarious suggestion. I think you were the one who compared a certain someone to certain someone.
Maybe. We'll see.
Because, we get the whole thing of... the plan to infiltrate the palace, how it was completely kept secret. Only Mare and Kel knew the details, and they only pulled a smoker in at the last minute to keep it all secret. Which also, what I do think is, Docs knew enough, but not the details.
No, I think Kelsier...
Docs did know...
Kelsier didn't want
Docs knew enough to...
everything, basically.
Yeah, but the Docs kept their things, for instance.
Yeah. The fact that troubles Kelsier the most is that the Lord Ruler sort of thanked Mare. And this is when Vin says that the Inquisitors can sense allomancy through Copper Cloud, which is why probably the Lord Ruler thanked Mare.
Which that's a very, very, very good way of doing this.
Yes. And
it means that it also just makes the Inquisitors and the Lord Ruler even more terrifying.
Yeah, they are intelligent. They are not just like aggressive and oppressive. They are intelligent as well, which is what...
Yeah, I mean, we had that in the meeting with Marsh. The Ministry is competent.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have enough... Really, it comes down to not having enough people.
Yeah, because they are taking their members from the nobility, and you can only have so many
Yeah,
people
and
from
the
nobility.
Lord Ruler's obsession with keeping complete control over Luthadel and not the rest of the Empire. Which, considering there are still open thieving, a lot of thieving crews in the city, he's not even doing that good a job in Luthadel.
Yeah, and then Finn, like Kelsier cannot believe that it is possible, and Vin says that she did it, and that is how she found Shan. That is also why she can feel Lord Ruler's touch on her through the copper, and that's how Inquisitors also found her, basically. And this is when Kelsier goes to test.
Well, I want to
theory.
point out. I want to point out with the Lord Ruler. I don't think it's so much that she can she feels it because she is more sensitive towards it.
Yeah.
Everyone is still being affected.
Yeah.
It's just she's more sensitive towards it. That's what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, we had talked about her being like her using soothing probably since she sort of snapped. So she is very adept at soothing, and that's also why she can feel others touch on her, which is what Kelsier also mentions later on, that he always thought Vin was very powerful because Vin was able to basically fight the soothing that Kelsier was doing on
her.
This is when obviously Kelsier...
Yeah. She also feels an elementic rhythm she has never felt before in the distance. So that's the Lord Ruler then. His range is a lot more than we think.
Yeah. I mean, we don't exactly get where this is coming from, but
it can really only be the Lord Ruler.
Yeah, something extremely powerful, obviously. Which makes sense.
And then she feels Kelsier's.
Yeah, and she quickly identifies each element that Kelsier keeps burning.
Pewter. She's been practicing this a lot.
Pewter, tin, steel, everything.
Yeah, and Kel's like, impossible. Again, just trying to see if it's a guess. Tin, she clocks it. Steel, she clocks it. And Kelsier's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, Kelsier does say that the Elementers in so many years have not been able to do this. So the fact that
Marsh couldn't do this.
Yeah, the fact that Finn can do this makes her equally powerful as the Inquisitors.
Incredibly.
Yeah.
Yes, about on the power skill ranking, about as powerful as Percy Jackson.
Yes.
AKA shockingly overpowered at times.
Which
my man blew up a volcano. Come on.
Fair. We'll talk about. We'll talk about it at some point.
You okay?
Yeah. Then.
Yeah, that's when we get the whole thing of just how skilled she is.
Yeah. And then
and Kelsey's like, get some pride in yourself. Be a bit more confident. And I felt that one.
Now, Kelsier does say, if anything you can learn from me, learn self-confidence. Which we know Kelsier is way too self-confident for his own good. Then Kelsier asks Vin to come inside, and Vin says she cannot face the crew. And Kelsier says, just because you said some stupid things, it means that you belong in this group.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's honestly the reinforcements Vin needs.
Yeah.
She needs to be reminded she's a part of this crew. But, and then for the latter half of this chapter.
Yeah,
oh, hi, Ellen.
Yeah.
And I just went, oh, and Ellen is still naive. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, the things that he says in this part is just incredible.
He's a bit naive.
Yes, very much so. The others are in panic around him. Justice is in panic. And Ellen is sort of reading.
To be fair,
it calms him.
Justice isn't so much in panic as he has extreme worry.
Yeah, fair.
But like, Ellen did need to go meet someone. After first running away because he realized they were being spied on.
Yeah.
They ran out with the books. And I'm just like, Yeah, that's gonna have been Straff's not gonna have like that moment, realizing his son is gone, but there's no body. He's like, well, people don't kidnap in this world. Did he run
Yeah.
away? How screwed am I right now? Which is also exactly why there are guards waiting for Ellen.
Yeah.
But
And yeah, Justice is
Ellen still
worried.
Ellen has no clue the house war has started, basically.
No. Like, he doesn't even know who the allomancers were outside his window. He just ran.
He has no clue.
Mhm.
He just knows someone that fell into the skylight and then just sprinted out, which makes sense with the books and all. It's still one of those things of, you could have just sent Justice away with the books and stayed in your own keep.
Yeah, to be fair, by the end
However,
of the chapter...
it does feel, in my opinion, that would have been a big risk of one of House Venture's own guards, once Ellen is alone, just stabbing him.
Yeah. To be fair, by the end...
Just taking advantage.
Yeah, by the end of this chapter, he does sort of accept his role as a nobility, and so...
he realizes at the end of this chapter that he hadn't realized he'd be a target this early on, which tells me that typically heirs don't get attacked.
I mean, especially an heir of such a high noble house.
Yeah.
It makes no sense for them to be attacked, because the only way to kill them amidst such security would be Mistborn, and then you'd start the blame game of this house did it and that house did it, and then it'll devolve into a house war. That's why the heirs don't get attacked as often.
Yeah, and we get to meet a spy, and I just went, oh boy.
Yeah, Ellen waits for his spy, and who comes and tells him about Sazed going into Clubs' shop, and that might be a front.
Casual reminder that Sazed needs to get better at hiding himself.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't think Sazed thought that someone would follow him, which fair. Just that
that's honestly because none of them have even considered the idea that the nobility could have spies following.
They don't consider nobility to be intelligent. At least Kelsier definitely doesn't.
Kel's thinking bites them in the ass again.
Yes, definitely. And the spy does say that the shop is overly protected by guards and mistings and all kinds of things.
They have watch nests, and the windows are sealed to keep sound in, which also explains why nobody will have heard Vin yelling.
Yeah, and that is why he says that it might be an underground hideout. And Ellen sort of gets happy at this. Well, he gets happy.
Yes, I love Ellen getting happy about this. And it's just like, makes sense. But also, I love the full implication of he really only wanted to protect Valette.
Yeah, even Vin realized...
He says he cares more about his house, but he's not one to care for scandal. If he couldn't gotten away with getting himself betrothed to Valette and having Valette for safety move in to keep revenge, he would have done it.
Yeah, easily. The spy says that they could attack the shop and get the people here, but Ellen says not to do this.
Thing is, they say that they don't know there's two Mistborn inside.
Yeah, fair.
They don't know there's two Mistborn inside. They don't know one of the best Scar warriors is inside. I have a feeling Dox and Breeze are also not the worst at fighting.
No, especially with Breeze's soothing. I don't.
They're only thinking about. Thing is, they're only thinking about Clubs, Sazed, and the apprentices.
Yeah, I don't think they even know about Mistings.
No.
Which is probably
they assume there will be tin eyes at least, and smokers.
Yeah, which is interesting.
But as we later learn, there is at least a few thugs in their employ.
Yeah, and then Ellen gets happy that Valent wasn't trying to spy on him, just rob him. And
which is a very richest family. That's a very richest family moment.
Yeah, and he says that amidst all the politicking, robbery somehow feels refreshing. Which is quite funny. Justice obviously doesn't understand this because Ellen is being stupid.
And but then it also just, it's only money.
Yeah.
And it's like, richest family syndrome.
Yeah. Justice says that's all we have.
But the thing is, not as important as Valette. He doesn't give a damn about the money. if he could be with Valette.
Yeah. And then Ellen says that something about Valette still doesn't make sense because she didn't really spend a lot of time with Ellen, and especially didn't ask him for anything.
Ellen clocks something very important that Jesse's in his paranoia isn't seeing, and that is that Vin was becoming very adept at politics. As Ellen did, she's very competent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then he puts two and two together and realizes that she's a Scar and becomes happy again.
Yes, I love that.
He's ecstatic at this.
Yes, and I'm just like, Ellen.
He gets excited by the prospect of asking questions to a Scar who could fool them, who were intelligent enough to fool the village.
He's basically, that means the Scar are not that different. Can I just point out that Ellen makes this connection of we're not so different faster than Kel does?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Ellen was looking into... Ellen was at least curious about the Scar, if not sympathetic.
Kel did grow up with nobility.
Yes.
And he's completely unwilling to see it.
Yeah. He just has hatred, which obviously has blinded him through the years. Though now that might somewhat be alleviated because of Vin. Then he arrives at Cape Venture.
I feel, I will get to it, but
Yeah, he arrives at Cape Venture, and the guards are obviously surprised at his return, but there are also way too many guards waiting for him. And take him to his father.
Yeah, specifically. But he makes a note of they surround him.
Yeah.
A clue that the house war has begun.
Yeah. And Straff says to Ellen that Mistborn were going to attack him, basically, and they should... And he mentions that they should have gotten Ellen and spared him the troubles. Because Ellen is being an idiot.
Yeah, but then he also just thinks like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to get dangerous this quickly, at least not for me. And it's like, he really does not consider the threat to...
No.
And it's like, oh, that's not smart.
Well, he will at the end of next chapter. Ellen is surprised that it was an assassination team and not a spying team.
And he's surprised that that the guards managed to kill a full Mistborn.
Yes. I mean...
Which... I don't even know if Straff really thinks it was his own guards.
No.
I think he fully knows that the other Mistborn did. He has probably no clue who it was.
Yeah, I mean, he does say who would be...
All they will know is it was a black-haired girl.
Yeah.
That will not help much.
Yeah, I mean,
but the big thing is, Vin has given him the perfect excuse to hide it.
Yeah, pretty much. Interestingly, the second Mistborn that Vin dropped, who collided into the guard,
is alive
and escaped, which is quite interesting.
Blasted pewter.
Yeah, pretty much. That's only why he is...
It does mean the Alarials know about Vin now. Know that House Renew has a Mistborn.
Yes. Which they haven't really done anything.
Not that House Renew will exist for many days longer.
Ellen then obviously leaves and goes to sleep.
No. We get to Ellen being informed it was Shan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I missed.
And he does clock she was a plant. He immediately this was a plant from House Alarial to get a venture heir.
Yeah, pretty much. Then obviously he leaves and goes to sleep, wondering if his father was right in saying that why would someone else's Mistborn would protect Ellen, and wonders if the things could be different than the way they are currently.
Yeah, and he's like, well, we let's keep the house together for one, because he really doesn't have any other idea of doing things.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
he does really say that after it all, they could perhaps work around the lies and the scams.
Yeah.
I'm like, aww.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he wants to do good, but I don't think people around him want him to do good. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's how basically the chapter ends.
And then we get the lovely epigraph.
Yeah, the epigraph. Epigraph. The epigraph author says that while many terracemen resent Hellenium, they also envy it, particularly the cathedrals and the stained glass windows, and the
Mhm.
fashion with the gentlemen's suits and so on.
Yeah, which I will point out. So we know the language
Mhm.
that they speak is a dialect of Terrace,
Yes.
but the culture is Helleni.
Yes.
Stained glass windows,
Yes.
broad halls, and gentlemen's
Mhm.
suits. That's the nobility.
Yeah. So they adopted the culture of Hellenium,
The culture of Hellenium
Mhm.
and the language of the Terracemen.
which is interesting. Why would you have the language of the terracemen with the culture of Hellenium? Because
Yeah,
we talked about earlier that they Lord Ruler could have chosen the language of Terrace because he wanted to sort of establish a difference between his, like, obscure his origins basically, but then having the same culture as Hellenium doesn't really make sense.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, it would have dropped that. I have a feeling the first few centuries might not have been the same.
yeah,
We know the plantation system is relatively recent.
yeah, about like 5 centuries or something.
A few centuries. So
Yeah, which is quite interesting that those two very different things would be adapted. It might be the case that Klenium was just the most advanced of the cultures at the time, technologically advanced, and that's why it was adopted. But again, doesn't make too much sense.
no,
Mhm.
we'll see. Maybe we'll get more.
Yeah, maybe. Um, chapter
Chapter
32.
32.
Yeah, we start with Vin visiting Spoke on one of the watchtowers
On the
Mhm.
roof,
and
where and we learn that very much that Spook is the crew's best dinner.
yeah, and that's why he's also keeping the most important of the watches, especially like in the evenings when the house war begins, because
Mhm.
apparently there is no war in Basing Say. Um,
But really, but and in the distance,
Mhm.
Keep Hastings is on fire.
Yes, House Lariel is attacking Keep Hastings tonight.
Kliss might have said like that Vin's story about Hastings was an obvious lie,
But she
but
also,
the work with the dogs clearly had some effect.
yeah, I mean, she did spread it, even if she knew it was a lie.
Yeah, but Dox's documents as well. The allies withdrawing, the finances fact, and House Lariel is the one that gives the killing blow. House Hastings is gone.
Yeah, yeah, we learned that
Which
the entirety of House is sort of.
wasn't one of Ellen's friends a Hastings?
Yes. Well, they are probably no more.
His friends are dropping.
Yeah. Then Spoke says that the Lord Ruler likes the infighting, and that's why he's keeping the garrison at bay. Though Vin wonders that this time around things might be different with the rebellion and all. Vin obviously does not know how all of this is going to happen because the garrison, while they are not back yet, they are pretty close and they can be called like any.
Yeah,
any
which is why it must be it's been a bit like it's been at least a week of Keep Hastings getting attacked. It's probably been a bit longer because the garrison is marching back towards Lucidel.
Yes, like we learned earlier, they might be like back out for 2 months or so, but they're still like a week or two away from Luthadel. Then she says that also that the chaos of House War is smaller than Kelsier expected it to be, or at least it has not reached its height yet.
Yeah, and I think that's because the house war kicked off before the crew was really ready for it.
Yeah,
they hadn't expect like the fact that the crew was completely unaware of the last ball. It just simply went quicker than expected, and I have a feeling. Was House Tikil that was destroyed? Yeah,
yes,
right.
Tikil was destroyed.
I think it's the destruction of House Tikil was the final blow towards the ball stopping, and then the Hastings convoy raid meant that Hastings was going to stop.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that was enough. If two houses were to keep going, other houses would still keep going. But when Venture was the only one still doing it,
and they decided obviously not to do it again either. However, Vin does say that she doesn't see the crack in Final Empire, like it might be strained, but there are no obvious cracks in it.
There is no crack.
Mhm.
Yeah. But 3 of the great houses are now gone.
Yeah. So
Out of 10?
yeah, out of 10.
That's a painful blow.
Mhm.
And we do know that the great houses effectively control the economy.
Yeah, which means the economy is like, that's like what? At least 25 to 30% of the economy is in shambles currently. Um,
Yeah.
then
The only thing intact at the moment is the ATM economy.
yeah, which we'll see how long it stays like.
That will not last. But
Yeah, but she's
what
happy.
I love
Mhm.
this, and what I will say this,
Mhm.
Finn's thinking has completely shifted.
Yes.
Because she ends this basic thought
Mhm.
with maybe in the future she could help start the next rebellion, a real rebellion.
Yes.
Her thinking has switched. She has fully accepted that things need to change.
Yeah, I mean, she does say that it'll take the Empire decades to recover from what has happened. And even if
Mhm.
it's
What I
not
like-
gonna topple them, it's a major victory for the Ska.
But I will say this: I fully know exactly one thing that will be take place in Finn's new world.
Mhm.
There will be balls,
Makes sense. I mean,
but it will be balls for everyone.
see, I know Vin is way more smarter than the character that I'm about to mention, but there is a Starkid musical Wicked, which is sort of a parody of Aladdin. So
Mm.
it's just it's but not Wicked, like Wicked is not Wicked, Twisted. It's a Wicked style parody. So it's the story of Zafar basically, and in that Jasmine is very naive, and she says that when she will become the ruler of the land, then everyone will be a princess. And that's exactly what I imagined with this.
Yes, what will everyone also have a unicorn? And will there be rainbows everywhere?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I know Vin is way more smarter than that character, but that reminds me of that. Anyway, she feels proud to be a part of this, obviously, which is very like a very good growth from her since the beginning of this book. She says that the Ska needed to be encouraged to resist, and that's what the crew has done, even if they haven't really won the war.
Yeah. And now we get to a moment you will have rolled your eyes at, because I know you. It will be the admission that she still loves Ellen.
Yeah, she mentions that she still loves Ellen and apologizes to Spook, but again asks him that if she can keep the handkerchief he gave her, and that she is thankful for it. And she gives a whole "it's not you, it's me" speech, which, I mean, it's a good.
Yes, I immediately went on. Go on, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
But to be fair, she gives a way better explanation than 99.9% of people ever could.
Yeah, I do agree that she talks about you can't choose who you love, and then she mentions her brother and so on.
Well, she doesn't mention her brother.
I mean,
she says that I would really not have loved someone.
Yeah, it's yeah, definitely.
But like, she still keeps the handkerchief.
Yeah, and then she asks Spook how long he has been Tenai, and he says that.
No, I want to point out is that Spook mentioned that he knew it wasn't going to happen because he sees things.
Yes, which Finn
he has been
ironic.
A bit of a creepy boy. He's been a bit of a creepy boy, and he's been observing Vin.
I mean, yes, you can sort of interpret it that way.
That's literally what happened here. He's been paying such a close attention to Vin that he knows it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
He's just but he's a teenage boy.
Yeah, and then Vin finds it ironic for a Tenai to say that he sees things. Then obviously she asks Spook how long he has been a Tenai, and he says that he's.
I want to point out it's not ironic. She doesn't think it's ironic that he says I see things. She says it's appropriate for a Tenai to say that.
Appropriate. Okay, I mixed my words. Yes.
As a comment recently pointed out, that I am much better at actually pointing out correct quotes.
Yes, because you have a book here open in front of you. I do not.
I have the book open, but also I keep an eye on those kinds of things.
Yes, fair. Then Spook mentions that he has been a Tin Eye since he was 5 when he snapped, and he doesn't even remember it anymore. And Finn,
we don't know when. We don't. I don't remember. We don't get an exact age for when Finn snapped, right?
No, but
young at least.
Yeah, but we sort of guessed that she might have snapped after her mom killed her.
Oh, it's almost certainly her mum
killing her sister. Yeah,
seeing her sister get killed and everything. Yeah, that's almost certainly why she snapped.
Yeah, which makes sense. Then Spook asked Spook for tips basically, and Spook says that burning tin isn't about what you see, but what you can ignore, which makes sense because of the avalanche of sensory information that you get.
Yeah.
Given you pick something and ignore everything else and focus on that, which is exactly what it says.
Yeah, ignore distraction.
And while they're talking about this, Kelsier arrives behind them and they get spooked.
Yes, and we get yet another comedy moment because Kelsier, we really need to come up with a way of informing people becoming.
Yeah.
Because it's getting someone might get started off the rooftop.
Yes.
And what I like is that Vin points out what she's wearing, and it's scar clothing.
Scar clothing with a mist cloak, yeah.
Okay. Rich scar clothing still.
Yes.
But what is very important is she only puts in token appearances that mention Renew. Like if need be, they can spread the story of we sent Valette home for her safety.
Yeah. Which is obviously what's going to happen.
But also, they mentioned they did have to buy Clis's silence. Which.
Yeah. I mean, Clis hasn't told anyone yet about Valette, so makes sense.
I mean, thing is, I fully expect the Illyrios to already know she's a Mistborn.
Yeah, especially like they saw her. And
maybe Streff knows it. Streff could probably put to. Streff is not a reader, but he's a Tin Eye. He probably knows what Vin looks like.
Yeah, I mean he does.
And the description will be of a small black-haired woman. So.
Yeah, perhaps. Kelsier and Ven are then supposed to meet Smarsh at midnight in a building. But Kelsier has another job first, so Kelsier and Ven then jump and leave.
Yeah.
They drop into a street, and Ven doesn't find it creepy anymore. She does say that she embraces the night and mist. Which, fair.
Yeah, and we get a lovely conversation about Mare.
Yeah, Kelsier thanks her for telling him about the ability to pierce copper clouds. And while he doesn't know if it explains everything, he rather chooses to believe in Mare and trust her than not. And
which is where we got the whole trust point thing.
Yeah.
Vin's explanation of what trust is certainly a description.
I mean, she basically says it's a way to deceive yourself into believing that someone is not going to betray you.
And it's and it's as Kelsier saying, I don't think you're helping your argument.
Yeah.
And Vin just says, makes sense to me. Distrust is the same thing, only on the other side.
Yeah.
I can see how a person, given the choice between two assumptions, would choose to trust.
Yeah.
Which is a very important thing for her to say.
Yes, exactly. And
it's a subtle comment.
Yeah, and
but she's out of saying she trusts people now.
No, but that's the thing. Kelsier asked what she'd choose, and she doesn't know what she'd choose. Which is quite interesting. That she still, while she has learned to trust, she doesn't know if or whether she can.
The thing is, she says like she can see how a person would choose trust, and I do think she trusts Kelsier implicitly at this point. It's just the problem is Ellen. Yeah. It's very much Ellen.
Yeah. That's basically what's stopping her from choosing.
It's this moment that you get that Kelsier is mellowed out at least towards Ellen.
Yeah, he alleviates.
He's out at comforting her.
Yeah, he alleviates the doubts that Vin has about Ellen. or tries to at least.
Which is really nice to do because he
Yes.
doesn't need to do that.
Yes. And Vin says in jest that Kelsier has messed her up because earlier she used to know everything, but now she's very confused.
the way that's phrased in the audiobook is not, it's just not a nope, it's a nope, with a very uplifted tone.
Yes.
Like, it's like, nope, not a bit. Like, very much speedy, not a bit.
Yeah.
And bravo. And then we get to a very interesting thing where, Gal, stop making yourself out to be a prophet.
Yeah, and they walk into sort of a...
But what I will point out is Vin is there with him for the first time for such a meeting.
Yeah, so Vin is going to be an apostle.
Vin has never interacted with the Scar when Cal is in full survivor mode.
Yeah, so Vin is going to be an apostle, basically.
Yes, I was about to say... But that's the thing. Vin does need to learn to speak to people if this whole thing is going to work at some point.
Yes.
Like, if it comes down to it, like, they don't want to put Vin in charge of anything because she just isn't ready for it. But if it comes down to it, she's gonna have to lead troops at some point.
Yes, because she is the only other Mistborn in there other than Kelsier.
In the crew, yeah.
So it makes sense she'd be at least.
But
also, she's stronger, as Kelsier mentions, probably even stronger than him. So,
but
makes sense that she'd be the leader.
Regular Scar are calling Kel Lord.
Yes, Lord of the Mists, which Vin thinks is a new one.
Yes, but just that they call him Lord Kelsier.
Yes,
and he just like, we get a description of the house these Scar live in, and it's a piece of crap.
Yeah. I mean, Vin wonders that she used to live like this as well. And Vin
but then
she's very uncomfortable at the sort of veneration that the Scar are showing towards Kelsier.
Yes, not helped by what Kel is saying.
Yes,
I come to spread hope.
Yes, exactly. And also the fact that when someone mentions, what do we eat now that the house Hastings has fallen and we used to work for them, he says that he'll send food. One of the best way to get someone on your side is to give them food. Especially when they're like starving.
People like Scar.
Yeah. Which is quite interesting that she sees the reverence. But she also sees that Kelsier like cares for these Scar.
He genuinely does care for them.
Even though in the way a parent would or a guardian would, but he still does.
Yes, that is a bit worrying in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because that is often how dictators portray themselves as a father figure.
Yes. Which is quite interesting.
I don't think this story is going to end with a representative democracy, Nemo.
We'll see what kind of governmental structure we get.
The parents are bringing their children forward.
Yeah.
And it's very noticeably the boys.
Yeah.
They want their boys blessed effectively.
Yeah, it's basically, yeah.
I don't even know if Kel has fully realized it, but he's creating a religion at this point.
I think he knows. That's the thing. I think he knows.
There is definitely a cult at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think he knows. He even carries himself in such a manner that feels like he knows.
But I wonder if he's realizing the implication of it.
That is.
And I wonder if Satan's still going on about the various religions constantly is him trying to give not so subtle hints.
Yeah. Especially like given how he talks. And even in the last chapter when he was talking to Sazed about the various religion and how religion gives strength to people and stuff. I feel like he knows what he's doing. It's just that, like, especially since currently...
I don't think he fully knows what he's doing. That's the thing.
Currently, the only religion that these people have is the Lord Ruler, being the God. And we talked about it earlier as well, that when you take someone's religion from them, they're going to turn on you. So maybe, just maybe, he is going to give them a new religion to latch onto.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also his part of his
Yeah.
plan. Which is
Yeah, but I don't think he's fully realized what he's doing. That's the thing.
fair, yeah.
And the problem is, he's doing it on his own.
Mm-hmm. Which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
I
But,
guess we'll see.
Cal visits and built multiple houses per night.
Yeah. And he says that it's a nice break, and Vin thinks, yeah, from killing noblemen and spreading lies.
Thing is, there's not really much that Cal needs to do anyway at this point
No.
with killing noblemen. Killing of the random nobleman is useful, but the house was fully on. Multiple houses are dead.
Yeah, and especially they are now focusing on like the Hastings, I think, was one of the most powerful houses.
The second most powerful house in Lucidel.
And they are gone now completely.
Which means the Tikiels, the Hastings, and one other are gone.
Yes. Even, I mean, Ilariel with
no matter what,
undead, and everyone sort of pointing.
Well, yeah, Ilariel is weakened because not only is Shen dead, the other. I don't think they're gonna have more than 2 Mistborn. I doubt it.
Yeah, I think every house might have like 1 or 2 Mistborns, or 3 at most.
I think there will be 1, 2, maybe 3 probably for Venture, something like that. With Venture almost certainly having the largest AT reserves. I think a big thing is that Mistborn that Vin knocked out of the sky is going to have been injured.
Yeah, I mean, certainly.
He's going to have been out of it. So Ilariel is vulnerable.
Yeah. I mean, they're still sending out Alabasters to kill other houses, like Hastings, just for example. But
house troops.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
quite interesting. Yeah.
But let's go meet Marsh.
Yeah. They arrive near the Marsh's building and see the light.
Everything seems like it should be.
Yeah.
Everything's going fine. Kel's talking happily because he's going to see his brother.
Yeah. And they see a light through that window, which is supposed to be Marsh's sign for them, that the Inquisitors have left.
Mm-hmm.
And they go in.
Well, no, the Soother has left.
The Soother has left, yeah. And they go in through the stairs for the first time, probably.
And it's just and then Kelsier freezes, and I already knew something was up because I had a feeling things are going too well. Things are going too well. As of late, this has been one chapter goes well, one chapter does not go well, and
Kelsier stops at the door,
and there's a lot of it.
Yeah, Kelsier stops at the door and basically stumbles down, seeing the
Yes, the girl stumbles out into the room, and it's not even recognizable as Marsh.
No, the body's flayed, it's dismembered, the head is bashed.
The head is gone.
Yeah, it's basically a carnage. So the Inquisitor and
Vin literally said things like how that she didn't know a human body could produce that much blood.
Yeah. Which is quite interesting. Vin obviously recognizes the work of Inquisitors.
An Inquisitor, and she is yet again the one to snap Kel out of something.
Yes.
And Kel's in shock. He's not responding to anything really. And it's Vin who spots that there's a note.
Yeah, there's a note hiding. And she takes the note, takes Kelsier, and they jump out the window, leaving Marsh's corpse basically lying there.
Yeah, they have to leave. They have to flee. Yeah. This is very recent, like very, very recent.
Which is, again, it's quite interesting that it happened. And we'll read what is in the paper when Vin comes back and Roxanne is reading it. And we learn that Inquisitors suspect Marsh because they sent a message to the obligator who supposedly trained Marsh.
That, and he's been asking way too many questions.
Yes, that's probably the main part, that he's been asking way too many questions. However, I mean, he also even previously said that there is sort of a tension between obligators and Inquisitors. And apparently Inquisitors are far more loyal to Lord Ruler compared to the obligators, which we have also sort of talked about, given Inquisitors seem far more like Lord Ruler in some ways, like in their powers, especially compared to the other ones.
Yeah, the notes, there's not much in it because he's not been able to find out much.
Yeah.
It's the loyalty thing he's found out, but he also there is a secret to the like a weakness to the Inquisitors. The Obligators don't talk about what it is because nobody knows, but there is one. Gonna guess it's ATM.
Perhaps. I mean, Vin did use ATM against the Inquisitor, but the Inquisitor also burned.
But yeah, but I don't think it's not the weakness in they can't use it. It's a weakness in they can't be without it.
That could be certainly a weakness, yeah. Anyway, Kelsier snaps out of it. He was in a very grave mood, and Vin was sort of frightened at his expression, given what he was looking like. But then Kelsier jumped into action immediately.
He's jumped into action, and the first words out of his mouth are, "Tell Renu to pull out," because the plan is completely and utterly compromised.
Yeah, Doxson
he says Marsh knew everything. However, there is the point that this is brutal, what was done to Marsh. And it doesn't make much sense to crush the head.
No.
Which I don't think they got everything out, and an Inquisitor might have lashed out in anger.
Yes, in some way.
The plan is still compromised. It's still completely doomed. But like
that's the thing. Whenever I see a crushed head in any any media, the first thing that I always assume is that's not the person they're talking about.
It's someone else.
Someone else.
Yes, I do have that thinking, but I'm just like, that would be a bit much. And honestly, it would make little sense to leave this out.
Yeah. Why would they do this? Because, I mean, they would only do this if they knew Marsh was giving information to someone else. In that case, they would be following Kelsier and Vin, but they don't seem to, at least right now.
No, and the Inquisitor is also gone, which is a bit weird. Yes. And they don't really have the time to really investigate if it's actually Marsh.
Yeah, which is quite interesting.
But I don't know. I feel like it would be. I do feel like it would be a bit of a cop out if Marsh happens to be alive after all.
It really depends on how. Like if how. I mean, yeah.
Why would they keep him alive? That's the thing. Why would they keep him alive?
That's quite interesting. Why would they keep him alive? Yeah, doesn't make sense much. Especially like given what we know about Inquisitors, doesn't seem like they're ammo to do this.
I mean, they wanted to capture Vin. That was pretty clear, and I think we now roughly can guess why they wanted another Inquisitor.
Yeah, probably.
They definitely know her power. They definitely know her power level is extremely high.
Yeah, I mean, Vin. Marsh mentions that he doesn't know how the Mistborns get turned into Inquisitors.
Hang on, sorry, I just thought of something.
Go ahead.
They don't know why. How does the Ministry recruit Mistborn to be Inquisitors?
Yeah, Marsh doesn't know.
That question. He doesn't know. But I just thought of something.
What?
What if they're not noblemen?
So all Scar Mistborn become Inquisitors.
The Scar Mistborn are broken.
Yeah.
And turned into Inquisitors. It might not be all, especially because they are specifically after her father.
Yeah. I mean, that will also
they don't
be
know who her father is.
Because they have prohibited.
They would want to know, which nobleman can be arrested and killed, but it might be the case that all the Inquisitors are Scar in origin.
That is quite interesting. I mean, that would make some.
It does really. Yeah. What like? It's like, where else would Inquisitors come from? Noble houses would notice missing members. I doubt noblemen obligators have zero contact with their families.
Yeah, that makes sense. But also, yeah, fair.
They don't need many. Mistborn.
Yeah, I mean, we learned that there are like 20.
They live an exceedingly long time, and there's 20 of them.
Yeah, 20 of them at any time.
If they can live up to say 200 years, you don't need many.
Yeah. Also, like they die of old age, but like they're because of allomancy, their bodies still function relatively well, even into the old age.
Their bodies deal with it's very weird. And we do know from Vin being a Mistborn and having that she survived a lot more than anyone should.
Yes. Yeah. We'll see what happens with the Inquisitors. Anyway, again, Kelsier has gotten full into action mode, and he asks Renu to move away and give a false appearance of moving away, even, and then return back to Luthadel, which is quite
false appearance, and send a Thuck and a Tin Eye with him.
Yeah, just to protect him, basically.
Considering we've already heard Renu is not in danger of assassination.
Mm-hmm.
That is how bad this situation is.
Yeah, I mean, he might...
Renu does not have to worry about assassination, but they are deeply worried about this.
Yeah, they are deeply worried about him being captured, more so than assassination, which is quite interesting.
But again... And then we get...
Yeah, Doxon saying that they should move to the backup
lair. Doxon saying, get to the backup lair. And it's like, we're getting out. And he tells it, get everyone, including the apprentices, out in 15.
Yes, basically do it
15 minutes. And that's going to be just papers. Every piece of paper needs to be moved out.
Yes. Yeah. Which is quite...
And honestly, again, I get... You don't know, we have a last part of this yet to go. I wonder what the response of this crew is going to be, because all of their identities are ruined now.
Yeah. I mean, Valette cannot go back.
Klups's life is over.
Klups is basically found out as well. Breeze and obviously has so many identities that if he ever gets caught, he'll be...
Breeze is also now going to... because Breeze has been found out, Breeze is going to have to move his crew.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically all the crew that they have gathered, everyone inside Klups's shop has to move out.
Don't care how you just leave the building. Heck, they might have torched the building as they left.
Yeah.
Just in case, they might have torched the building. It's a risk. It might set other things on fire.
Yeah.
Better to have it burned to the ground than have any news broken out. Heck, that's how clubs could hide.
Yeah, that would also make sense. Like just fake a death in a fire, maybe.
But Kel says, I'll be back in 2 days.
Yeah, and they ask what you're going to do, and he says, they hurt me where it hurt me.
And
they hurt me.
Kel says, that couldn't have hurt worse.
Yeah, so
I'm going to do likewise. I heard the word likewise, and well, that's the pit screwed.
Yeah, and which is interesting that we shift into perspective to Scar going through the pits.
Of a prison, of a slave in the pits. And we get a full-on explanation of what it is to be in the pits. Yeah, like... And it's rough.
Yeah, they have to go down and down to find ATM geodes, and there are bodies.
And they find corpses on the regular.
And when he goes to sort of pull out the geode, you hear how, like, their hands get completely scratched, and which is also how the scars...
That's how the scars form.
Yeah. And when they are about to come out, they also have to worry about other younger Scar taking the geode from them. Which
brutal but realistic.
Yeah, makes sense. And the moment he comes up with a geode, another man in shadow pulls him up, saying him to leave.
And I mean, there was no real surprise as to who this was.
Yeah, and then...
But also, what I love about this is that, so ATM is in these geodes, and he said, like, if you break it open, there's a valuable piece of metal in there.
Yes.
The prisoners don't know it's ATM.
Yes, which is quite interesting.
And it's...
Yeah, he asks the Scar to leave.
Who he is.
And the Scar asks...
So he tells him to get out, the guards are dead, get out, get everyone out.
Yeah, the man asks who he is, and he says, I am what you will soon be, a survivor. Which is...
Yeah, and then we skip right back to Kel.
Yeah, then we jump into Kelsier's perspective, and he remembers his time in the pits, and sort of afraid to jump in, but he does it for Mare and her vision of the world.
He does it.
And he goes in and just starts just using allomancy. He's like,
He immediately uses elements, and it immediately begins to wreak havoc, even before he actively goes after the ATM.
And just breaks all the crystals, basically.
He's basically destroying the pits.
Yeah, 3 years ago, this is where he started using iron, and that's when he planned for vengeance, and today he fulfills it by destroying the pits of Hudson.
And I fully believe this is the plan he's been keeping secret from everyone.
You think so? Do you?
At least in part, because this is something everyone would say, don't go back, don't go back,
yes,
don't go back.
But this also seems like a very sort of emotional response.
But he literally says he's been planning this since he escaped.
But like...
he has been planning this. This is at least a part of the plan he's not told anyone about.
Yeah, but also this is the sort of thing you would do at the very end, because this is certainly going to anger the Lord Ruler. If not the house,
obviously,
not anything else.
Yeah, but that is exactly what I mean. It's like this was probably part of the plan, which he didn't want to tell anyone about, because he knows damn well collapsing the ATM economy is definitely going to crash the economy completely.
Yeah, and that
because it's how the Lord Ruler keeps control over the economy.
Yeah, and that's basically what has happened now. And now everything is sort of in an accelerated mode.
I will also point out one other thing. I would not be surprised if Kel turns up with a whole bag of ATM.
Yes, but also the crystals are destroyed. I don't think he's there to collect ATM. I think
there's almost certainly a shipment of ATM there.
Yeah.
There's almost certainly a warehouse where there might be prepared ATM.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, really depends on if you have like the...
They almost certainly...
No.
Well, they almost certainly refine the ATM at the pits.
Do they? I don't think so.
That's a risk to move it around.
You can move sort of the geodes enough too.
Yeah, but then you need to make sure that you really need to make sure there's no elementals even in the vicinity, and that's a risk.
Yeah, because if you do it at
once
the place...
once it's pure ATM, it's secure.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you do it at the place, the Scar would certainly know it, because they would be the one doing it. So
might be very close by.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense. Where else would House Venture refine it?
That is fair, yeah. It really depends. It really depends on what
you want. This operation needs to be as small as possible. That's why there are so few guards there.
Yeah, makes sense.
And it clearly doesn't take much to get the ATM out.
No, because
Kel literally says, break it out of the geode, and it's a very valuable piece of metal. So all you need to do is crack open the geode. That's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, it might be like gold, where it's a very inert metal and doesn't really interact with anything else. So you can get more or less pure-ish metal from it. Yeah, that could be the case.
But you try to destroy me, Pits of Hessin. It's time to return the favor.
Yeah.
And my blood's at that pump, because I realized there are still 2 chapters left in this part.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's where the chapter ends, with the epigraph being...
The epigraph is basically the Lord Ruler saying, I'm not crazy, someone else saw the mist creature.
Yeah, that's basically what he says. But he also, in the beginning, says that so high up in the mountain, he does not feel the deepness anymore, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Like, they are going to the Well of Ascension to defeat the deepness, but the closest they should go to Well of Ascension...
I don't think it would have been called... I don't think it was called... Was it ever called the Well of Ascension before they went there?
I have no idea. I think it's mentioned in the earlier in the epigraphs that it is called Well of the Ascension. No, I don't think it would be called Well of Ascension. It might be...
it would be called the Well of Ascension after the Lord Ruler was there.
Yeah.
I even think the Well of Ascension might be that lake.
Yeah, because, I mean, as he mentions that the Fedic sort of lusting over the lake might be what got him killed, which is quite interesting. That there is something that is protecting the lake. Maybe the deepness, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably find out eventually what the deepness actually is.
Yeah.
Probably will take us about 2 chapters from the end of the book series.
Given that things are going, yes.
Given how everything has fallen apart now.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
Anything else before
And we're probably recording the next episode early again.
Yeah, probably the
Because
next
that's how this
few
has been
days.
going of late.
But we are like what, 7 episodes, 6 episodes ahead.
We're very far ahead.
Mhm. Anyway,
But that makes sense because I can't put this book down.
yeah. Anyway, anything else before we move on?
Not really. I kind of want to hear the reaction of Ellen to the destruction of the pits.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Because I think if Ellen is thinking, he might put 2 and 2 together.
Yes, because he did tell Vin about the pits, and then the pits got destroyed.
And he knows she's a Scar. It depends on what Streff really tells him.
Yeah, fair.
It's not real spying on Streff, considering Streff's a tin eye.
That is true.
Actually, I do have something to point out. When Ellen is meeting with his father, the word father does not come up all that much.
Yeah, he said Lord Venture, which is quite interesting.
He says Straff, he says Venture, he says Lord Venture, he says father. But there's a lot of the times he doesn't say Lord father. Might mean nothing, might mean everything.
I mean, we know that their relationship is very strained, so
it's very strained, but that's still a very big thing to point out.
Yeah, fair. Well,
yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.